Welcome back, Archer athletes. Today's theme is posture with a focus on proper core alignment and the intensity control that you're going to need to maintain proper core alignment. This training session builds upon the key concepts outlined in the hollow back video. I definitely recommend watching that video first, as it contains a progression, the crush the towel progression, that is designed to set your movement patterns up for success with this particular workout. Few elements of software you'll need to integrate into today's training to be successful. Attention and focus, as always, because if you're going to be training, you might as well be training with deep practice, and in order to deep practice, you really need attention and focus. 2, intensity control, managing the intensity of the hip rock and keeping the core engaged to crush the towel. That is going to develop a level of intensity in your core and through your hips, and you'll need to manage that intensity. And finally, breathing. Breathing's critical today as we work on posture of core alignment, because we use breath to help facilitate getting into that proper posture during set position. 2 goals for today. Number 1, use breath and the crush the towel cue to achieve proper posture at set position. Number 2, maintain proper posture, so no rise in the chest, no hollow back, throughout the entire shot all the way to the end of follow through. Standards for today: I want proper core alignment on 90% of your shots. Here's an overview of today's training session so that you know what's in store. We'll start out this session with a brief overview of core alignment concepts that were covered more in depth during the video titled Hollow Back. We'll move on from there to 3 warm-ups I've chosen to help you loosen up your hips and your lower back. The main body of training today takes the form of a 45-minute AMRAP circuit. AMRAP stands for as many rounds as possible. The circuit is designed to challenge your core alignment, and it looks like this. You'll begin with 6 shot cycle repetitions using a stretch band in front of a mirror. Next, you'll move on to an activity I've designed called Dirty Laundry, 6 arrows only. Then you'll move on to Richter Scale, 6 arrows only. You'll retrieve all 12 arrows, and then you'll repeat that sequence, AMRAP, as many times as possible for 45 minutes. I will outline each of the elements in the circuit so that before we begin, so that you begin the main set with confidence and clarity. This session assumes that you know what a hollow back is and that you're also using and proficient at an open stance. I'm also going to remain focused on core alignment only and not elements of posture that are related to your arms and your legs. Today's training session will draw heavily from the crush the towel progression outlined in the hollow back video. If you recall, the first 2 steps in the crush the towel progression guided you from a lying down position on the floor with a towel under your lumbar spine to a standing against the wall position with a towel behind your lumbar spine. The common thread in each of those steps of the progression was that you were using the cue push the sticker to the floor or push the sticker to the wall to crush the towel. When and how exactly do you crush the towel? During set position. Take a large inhale at set position, and as you exhale, tuck your pelvis under and feel your core engage. The core engagement should anchor your chest and ribs down like they're getting pulled towards the floor and anchored there. In the hollow back video, I talked about tucking the pelvis as a horizontal force and the anchoring of the ribs and the chest down as a vertical force. Those images will be helpful to keep in mind during today's entire session. The whole point of developing proper posture and core alignment is to develop a stable foundation from which the rest of the shot builds upon. Once that posture is set during set position, you do not want your pelvis or your chest to lose that horizontal and vertical force that set them there in the first place. Although your torso is going to be rotating around your spine during setup position, you do not want the chest rising during that rotation. So the chest will maintain this vertical force down as you rotate around your spine.
Child's pose stretches the muscles around the hips and back. Start by kneeling on the ground and then lean forward at the waist. Try to keep your hips on your heels. Reach your arms out in front of you and hold this position for at least 8 breaths. Move your knees away from each other before you bend forward if you need to modify this pose.
Cat and cow. Come to a hands and knees position with your shoulders over the wrists and knees under the hips. Cow position is first. Inhale as your belly button is drawn towards the floor and the shoulders come back towards the hips. Bring your gaze towards the sky. Exhale as you go into cat. Push your belly button towards the ceiling through your back, turning yourself into the shape of a cat that is arching its back. Allow your head to curve down so that you can look at your belly button. Complete 12 repetitions of cat and cow, trying to increase your range of movement a little more each time. Air squats. Place feet shoulder width apart, toes pointed slightly outward. Keep your knees in line with your toes. Let your hips drop towards the ground and lead the way. Your spine will want to stay as straight as possible, and you can maintain the curve in the lower back. The hollow back is okay here. Your hips want to drop lower than your knees, and you'll want to keep your heels down. As you rise to the top of the air squat, make sure you're extending your hips and knees completely. As you lift yourself up, squeeze your glutes. Now notice how much my back is not staying straight up and down. Air squats and squats in general happen to be one of my weaknesses. Try to keep your spine more vertical than mine. Complete 20 repetitions, then do a 1-minute rest, followed by 20 more reps, a 1-minute rest, and finally 20 final reps. Part 1 of today's training circuit is banded Mo. That's mirror on wall. And the cue is going to be crush the towel. Place a long mirror at torso height and use a stretch band and shoot towards the mirror as if it were the target. The time at the mirror is time for you to get visual feedback and imprint proper core alignment when you are making the proper movement patterns. I want 100% of the 6 shot cycle reps completed while at the mirror to have perfect core alignment. Use your breath and the crush the towel cue during set position to initiate proper posture. Part 2 of today's circuit is dirty laundry, and the cue you'll use is crush the towel. Dirty laundry challenges your ability to maintain posture and head position in the horizontal and vertical planes by giving you immediate feedback about how stable your foundation is. Here's how it works. I've placed the equivalent of a clothesline across the width of the range. And off of that clothesline, I've dangled a few lengths of cordage that are maybe 2 to 3 feet long. Slide one of those short lengths of cordage that are dangling down, slide it to the left or right until when you're standing at your spot in the line, and I want that piece of cordage that's dangling to bisect the target face that you're shooting behind it. Now, the piece of cordage that's dangling down, I want that to be at least 10 feet in front of your target. If it's right up against the target, this activity won't work. Because the dangling cord is between you and the target, if you move it all in the vertical plane or in the horizontal plane, visually it's going to look like the target and the cordage are moving back and forth in front of each other. So that's how you're going to get immediate feedback with this particular exercise. If you manage intensity control of core alignment well and head position remains steady, the string and tape will visually remain in the same relationship to the target from set position all the way through follow through. 2 goals that I want you to have for dirty laundry. 1, use the first part of the breath cycle to help establish proper core alignment during set position. 2, shoot 6 arrows in a row and have the dangling cord stay visually stable in relation to the background on 90% of the shots. Part 3 of this circuit is called Richter Scale, and the cue you will use is still crush the towel. Richter Scale is simply a variation of a theme on dirty laundry. The only difference is that you're going to be standing on 2 stability discs while you do this. If the 2 stability discs feel like too much of a challenge, you could use a balance board like the one we have at the archery range, or if you don't have that or want even less risk, go ahead and fold several towels up into long rectangles and then place them on top of each other so you have maybe something that stands about yay high. Goals for Richter scale: number 1, use the first part of the breath cycle to help establish proper core alignment in set position. And number 2, shoot 6 arrows in a row and have the dangling cord stay visually stable in relation to the background on 90% of the shots. Now that you understand how dirty laundry and Richter scale work, let me give you an overview again of this particular circuit. You'll start out with a banded mow, mirror on wall, 6 reps of the shot cycle with a stretch band. Second, dirty laundry. You'll need your vertical dangling cord set up in the right spot, and you're trying to go through your shot cycle maintaining proper core alignment without having that cordage move at all visually. 6 arrows. Third, Richter scale. It's the same as dirty laundry, except you're standing on 2 stability discs. 6 arrows. After you've done dirty laundry and Richter scale, go ahead and retrieve all 12 arrows, and then repeat AMRAP, as many rounds as possible, for 45 minutes. In short, it will look like 6 shot cycle repetitions in front of a mirror with a stretch band. Moving on to dirty laundry, 6 arrows, Richter scale, 6 arrows, and then retrieve. Describe the process you go through to find proper core alignment in set position. Where in your shot cycle did the dangling string used in dirty laundry and Richter scale reveal you had head or core movement? On the shots that you made where the dangling string in dirty laundry or Richter scale stayed totally steady, how did those shots feel, and what were you doing differently to achieve that success? Thank you so much, everybody, for watching again. Please hit the like button down below, write some comments, share with me what you learned and how this helped your shots. I'd love to hear from you. Take care. See you soon.